Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So today I wanted to try a new style of video. This is more for just kind of having some fun. I know a lot of the videos I do are more for like competitive teams, seeing how they could really do inside the Legends meta, But sometimes you don't want to play just like meta Pokemon. You just want to kind of have some fun. So I decided to do a lot of my battles today just using Autorekt. For those unfamiliar with Autorekt is basically when you allow the computer to decide your team for you, or basically allow the algorithm to decide your team for you. There are a few exchanges in the rules. So after the algorithm chooses your team, you're welcome to change the Pokemon that they've chosen to one of the exact same family. So for example, if the algorithm decides they want to put a Squirtle on my team, I can put in a Blastoise instead of Squirtle. Additionally, I can use a Pokemon that is just a similar Pokemon that has the correct move sets. I also added one more rule to it just to make sure the teams are still relatively good. If the third Pokemon just doesn't make any sense, then I will go ahead and change that to a Pokemon that is relatively usable but stays true to the format. But for the most part, I want to stick as close as I can to the spirit of what Autorekt should be. You would think that if you go into the Great League at 2900 plus elo, you're gonna see a lot of people who just destroy your teams if you're not picking your teams or not really building a good team. But I managed to go 4-1. I guess the algorithm favors me quite well. But I think that in this you're also going to see a lot of really interesting plays that I want to go more into detail with as well. So as I do this video, I'm going to be talking about not only about the teams that I'll be playing in Autorekt, but on top of that, I'll be talking about how the team is being played and why some moves are very important. So let's get to our first team. The first team we have is going to be a Berserker, Wormadam, as well as a Samurott. Okay, so not the best team, but I think that it has decent play in the actual format. All three of the Pokemon play pretty okay against things like Walrein, which is important in this meta, but on top of that, they play okay against things like Stunfisk as well. I think the biggest weakness so far might be like an Azumarill, but the Wormadam plays really well against Azumarill as well. Speak of the devil. So in this matchup, we actually get the best lead we could possibly get with our Pokemon. I'm able to go ahead and go straight for this Bug Buzz, and the reason why I go for this Bug Buzz here is because I know that both Iron Head as well as Bug Buzz don't do a lot of damage to Azumarill, so I figured I'd throw energy right then and there and then go into my Samurott. At this point, I know that a Hydro Cannon will take out this Stunfisk really easily. I'm really glad that I was able to go ahead and use the energy on this Stunfisk so I can focus on making sure this Stunfisk blocks these two Hydro Cannons that are about to come out. At this point, the Samurott has done its job. The Stunfisk has no shields on them, meaning that I can bring out my Berserker and go ahead and start farming energy at this point. I should have waited out the clock a little longer, I think, just so that I can go ahead and take this out and switch if necessary, but they switch into Azumarill. Now, I'm okay with the switch over here for them. I'm going to go ahead and just throw my first foul play, get some extra energy over here, and then go ahead and switch back into my Burmy. The reason why I blocked this is I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a Hydro Cannon. At this point, I'm willing to let my Wormadam take a Hydro Cannon because it won't take it out, but ends up they have only Play Rough and Ice Beam, meaning that I can really take my time with this Azumarill. This Iron Head shouldn't be able to take out the Azumarill, but it'll bring it down low enough that I can farm it down without really worrying about taking much more damage here. They're going to throw over here, which is okay with me. I'm still going to focus on just trying to farm down. But they switch into the Baston, and I wasn't thinking there'd be a Baston here, so I try to go to Iron Head, but I can't get in time, and I go back to my Berserker, which is actually fine because Berserker can do a lot of damage with this close combat. I should have actually gone for foul play first and then close combat, but you live and learn. I now have to close out the rest of the game with Berserker, which is actually okay because Berserker is a great closer. I farm energy to throw a back-to-back foul play. The first is to actually take out this Baston. The second one is to take out the Stunfisk just in case it comes back. If it does, it'll take it out immediately, and then I can actually Shadow Claw down the Azumarill. It was extremely key to be patient and to make sure that you were able to land your charge move on the upcoming Stunfisk. And there goes game 1. Let's see, in game 2 I have a Samurott, Roserade, and a Walrein. That's an okay team. The way I'm going to set this is I'm actually going to have my Roserade in the back and put my Walrein in the front. That way if I see a counter, I can go directly into my Roserade as a safe swap or my Samurott. In this second Autorekt team, I'm actually okay with it because all 3 of the Pokemon can close. Roserade is a solid safe swap because it has both Weather Ball, which is high, damage per energy. In addition to that, the Leaf can pretty much take out anything. So we have a lot of utility and a lot of shield pressure at the same time. Their first Pokemon is a Lickitung, which is a relatively neutral matchup. I do eventually win it, but it's still kind of rough. They switch into a Surfetch, which is perfect for them to do if they're going to go against my Walrein. So I switch into my Roserade. So you'll notice this Roserade actually runs Bullet Seed instead of Poison Jab. Poison Jab's a little better against a lot of the fairy types, but the reason why I go with Bullet Seed is because Bullet Seed gets you a better safe swap most of the time and it helps you catch up in energy if you're actually behind it. In this specific matchup, because of Bullet Seed, I'm able to get to 3 Weather Balls before they can get to 3 Night Slashes / Leaf Blades. If I had gone Poison Jab, I would have actually lost a switch here. There goes Weather Ball 3. So the Lickitung is going to come right back. I'm going to go ahead and throw my Weather Ball and switch back into Walrein. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because I'd rather save the Roserade for a sack swap maybe. If I leave it in, it's basically going to get 2 extra Lick attacks against my Roserade without me doing any extra damage on it. This deck's going to power, I don't think it takes enough, but it does a lot of damage still. Their final Pokemon is a Medicham, which is not looking really good for me. I'm going to throw this Ice Cold Spear as quickly as possible and try to just get as much chip and damage as possible over here. I'm going to now bring in my Samurott to go straight for the Hydro Cannon. Because of the way this Samurott works, I'm actually able to get energy pretty quickly. But the thing is that this Hydro Cannon will not take this Medicham out. And the reason is because the Medicham itself is really tanky. I could have gone for Mega Horn, but if I did that, the Lickitung would just come back and lick me down. My only way to win this matchup was to get 1 extra Fury Cutter on the Medicham without taking any damage. So what I had to do was to get 1 more Bullet Seed off with the Roserade and then switch back into my Samurott to farm it down without taking any more damage. Because of that, I'm able to get to another Hydro Cannon, which takes the Lickitung. Team 3 I thought was really cool. I don't get to use Rapidash really often, and I think it's a really cool Pokemon. I'm going to place it in a closing position and have the Dragonair actually lead. The reason why I choose Dragonair as a lead because both the Rapidash as well as the Snorlax do really good damage against Ice types. In this case, I'm going to be utilizing the Snorlax as a safe swap and then focus all my shields on the Rapidash. Their lead is a Stunfisk, which is okay. Because Aqua Tails do super effective damage, this match is actually really good. Dragon Breath damage itself is also really impressive, so that's going to really add up against the Stunfisk. If I were to guess, I would assume that this Stunfisk would actually go straight for the Earthquake over here, just try to take me out a little faster, but they might try to go for Rock Slides. There's the Earthquake. Either way, I'm really just saving those shields for my Rapidash. This second Aqua Tail is going to bring it low enough for me to farm it down on the Rapidash. Now they're super low in energy, so I want to do everything I can to make sure that I get this Incinerate out here. I'm going to shield up this Earthquake or Rock Slide, and then this initial should be able to take out that Stunfisk pretty easily. So the second Pokemon I see is going to end up being a Trevenant, which really tells me that whatever is in the back is probably extremely weak to Rapidash. This Flame Charge won't kill this Trevenant, but they're going to want to block it because it will bring them pretty darn low. I should probably block this, but I'm calling. I'm thinking it's going to be a Seed Bomb, which it was. At this point, I can actually just farm down this Trevenant and then focus on my attacks for the last Pokemon, which is probably once again really weak to this Rapidash. So no matter what comes out, I'm throwing out my Flame Charge right away, and it ends up being a Venusaur. So at this point, I know the game is over, and Rapidash is going to be able to close it out. Here comes the final Incinerate. This Incinerate will bring in the Flame Charge, which will take out the Venusaur right away. Let this be a lesson. So whenever you're trying to decide how you want to build your team and you have a closer, you want to make sure that you're able to dedicate a way to defend your closer. So in game 3, I get 3 really meta Pokemon, which is fine. I'm trying to think how I would play this team like this. I'm not sure it really matches really well. So I decided to put Drapen in the front and then have the Nidoqueen and the Medicham in the back, because it's basically an ABB against fighting types in the front. That being said, I really don't want to play this team, so I decided to actually throw this team back and go with a different team instead. That being said, I want to make sure I have the proper attacks for Drapen if I end up wanting to use it later on in a different Autorekt match. So I go ahead and switch the moves up, make sure that it has Poison Sting, Crunch, as well as Aqua Tail. Alright, that's back in order. Let's go back to re-rolling a team. So in game 4, I get a Melmetal, Dradigin, and Galvantula. I love Melmetal a lot, so I'm definitely going to play this team. But I'm going to switch out the Dradigin for a different Pokemon that plays a similar role. I was going to play a Dragonite first because I wanted a flying type to kind of combo with the Melmetal, but my Dragonite wasn't ready. So I decided to actually just bring out an Altaria because it plays a role really well and it's just a really solid Pokemon. This team also has an anti-ABB situation where if I see a fighter in the front, I could bring out an anti-fighter in the back. So in game 4, we see a Shadow Salamence. Now, I've never actually gone against Shadow Salamence, so I was going to assume it had Dragon Breath, but it doesn't. At this point, I'm not really sure what I need to do, so I throw a Rock Slide getting ready to switch out. I switch out into my Altaria, knowing that it has super effective damage. So they bring out their Shadow Gardevoir. So at this point, I know that this is a Battle Day team because they're trying to go as quickly as possible. For people playing Battle Day, if you go triple Shadows, I completely get it. You need to finish your games quickly. They're really toxic. I hate them a lot, but I get it. In this specific matchup, I'm trying to generate as much energy as possible so that I can throw a Rock Slide for this Gardevoir and then throw a second Rock Slide for the upcoming Salamence. You'll notice I actually let a Charm Sneak in there because I want to get a little bit of extra energy. So I threw on the second Thundershock instead of the first Thundershock. That being said, they brought out their Big Chill, which I wasn't really expecting there. After throwing Rock Slide, I brought out my Galvantula to go ahead and try to farm it down, but they switched back into Salamence, which is okay. In this point, I just need to take the Salamence out, so I throw the Discharge, and now I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the Lunge against the Victory Bell. I definitely lost the lead in this matchup, and they actually had double countering, but I'm still able to bring it back. Oh yeah, feels good. When playing against a triple Shadow team, it's really important that you stay calm and look for basically any ways to get extra damage or extra turns in. I was able to win that matchup solely because I got an extra turn in with the Thundershock. So in game 5, I get some relatively high meta Pokemon. I haven't really played Jellicent really often, so I'm willing to play this team over here actually. That being said, I don't really like this type of lineup over here. I'm sticking with an EBB style team where my back line covers my front line. I think in retrospect, one thing that can be done differently with this team is that it can definitely be running Ice Beam instead of Bubble Beam. I stuck with Bubble Beam just because I knew it a little better and I wanted to play more baits. But sometimes that could be a double-edged sword. If you're in a position where Shadow Ball doesn't do a lot of damage, then Bubble Beam wouldn't be that great either. So in game 5, we see a Frostus in the lead, which is okay for Stunfisk because I do super effective damage, but on top of that, I'm thinking about how it'll affect my backline. I know that the Frostus does really well against both my Jellicent as well as my Trevenant because I need to play this very carefully. I basically need to make sure that I have shields to go against that Frostus when it comes back out. I was trying to decide which Pokemon I would bring out here. I decided to go with Trent because it does have a really good matchup against the Azumarill, but in retrospect, I should have actually had brought out the Jellicent. And the reason is because I don't want to waste shields. If I waste both my shields on the Azumarill over here, I'm in a really bad position, which unfortunately, I just have to kind of let this happen over here. The really good thing about bringing out Jellicent is I don't have to block either moves from the Azumarill, and that's because they don't do enough to actually do any major damage to the Jellicent. And on top of that, on my side, I resist the bubble attacks too. I'm able to get both my seed bombs in over here, and they have to block both of them because they do a little too much damage. They take out my Trevenant, meaning that they have a lot of energy at this point. I bring out my Jellicent in hopes that I can try to farm it down. This here should be a Shadow Ball, which I have to block. It would virtually one-hit my Jellicent. Out comes the Scraggy, and I'm not looking really good at this fight at all anymore. This Scrag can easily take out my Stunfisk, so I need to play it really intelligently and make sure I don't make any misplays. Here I think it's actually a misplay. I should have actually gone for a Shadow Ball to get the chip damage in, and then brought in my Stunfisk. I was hoping I would have caught a foul play over here, but it ends up being just a power punch, which is really bad for me because they're just trying to charge up more damage, and then they're planning to take me out by just foul playing or punching me down. Here is the worst part about the game though. I want to throw an Earthquake right away, but I actually over tap, and then I get too much energy, meaning that they're able to foul play and take me out right away, unfortunately. I think if I was able to actually get that Earthquake in, I probably would have maybe won. And the reason is because my Jellicent can actually take one Shadow Ball from that Frostlass. And I know that it only had one attack left in it, meaning I could actually finish off with Hexus and maybe a Bullet Beam. The Frostlass comes back, and they're going to go ahead and get one attack in and then throw, I believe, an Avalanche over here. I'm like 90% sure that if I hadn't lagged there and done that over tap, I would have been able to put enough shield pressure or charging pressure on the Frostlass to throw energy against my Stunfisk, meaning I could have actually finished the game with the Jellicent. I really wish I got there because I would have gotten a 5 if I did that, but you know, you can't win every game, right? I don't really recommend doing this unless you really know what you're doing and you just want to kind of play a little differently, you know. I've been playing against a lot of meta teams, and I played a lot of different meta Pokemon, and instead of just trying to decide a new team every single day, I decided, you know what, let's see what the algorithm does for me. And I feel like the algorithm did pretty okay. It got me pretty okay matchups. Overall, it gave me a couple awkward leads, but I was still able to take out a lot of wins, I think. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and hey, check out my Discord right below if you want to join it. I'm sometimes in there just, you know, talking about Pokemon stuff. If you want to chat, if you want to ask questions, let me know. Oh, and if there's a team that you want to see or a Pokemon that you want to see featured, let me know in the comments. I'm more than happy to try it out. Anyhow, good luck on Battle Day. I know that's going to be happening today for most of you, and I hope you have some fun out there. Bye.